All right, we're going to jump to this first story, and it's from the New York Times, but we will be leading with a quote from Dan Price, posting on LinkedIn. He said, "In the unlikely event that you are falsely accused, remember that it will be much easier for you to overcome false allegations than it will be for actual victims to overcome the trauma of harassment or assault."
Go on.
That being said, Dan, I suppose I'm not supposed to care at all that you are claiming these are false allegations, but these are some crazy allegations. So take a look at the headline. Social media was a CEO's bullhorn and how he lured women.
Oh my.
This is what you get when you pander to woke people. Or maybe the people who pander to these woke people are just predators. Dan Price was applauded for paying a minimum salary of $70,000 at his Seattle company and criticizing corporate greed. The adulation helped to hide and enable his behavior. I'm just going to give you the gist of it. Yo, this is crazy. Like, they talk about how he's on the Daily Show and they did magazines with him. But apparently he's been accused, I guess, of like drugging a woman. Look at this. Raping and drugging a victim. On Monday, police in Palm Springs, California said they had referred Miss Margis's case to local prosecutors recommending a charge of rape of a drugged victim.
Oh my.
Prosecutors in Seattle earlier this year charged with the Price with assault in another incident. Apparently he tried to kiss a woman, and then when she refused, he choked her. So questions. Is this retaliation from the woke because you can never trust them? Or is it that if someone is willing to pander and lie to gain power, they're probably willing to do that for sex?
Yeah, and there's sort of a default, like the fakeness of nice. Like, I actually distinguish between being nice and being kind, right? Like, kindness is something that comes from a position of like strength and normalcy. Nice, whenever you talk about nice guys, you always know that there's like an element of like deception,
nefariousness,
right? Like, it's sort of like, I think that people think like they put coins in the nice. It's like a vending machine, right? They put coins in the nice button, and then eventually they get to the girl they want.
Like, a nice guy won't step on someone's toes. A kind guy might step on your toes just to let you know your toes are in the wrong spot.
Yeah, or like, well, kind guy just does it from a position of strength, right? Like they have the ability to do. They have powers. So, but they're being kind and not using it that way. Whereas nice is like
a costume.
They're trying to attract women by being like fake, and they're like they think
it's a game.
Yeah, it's.
I knew a guy. Me and this other guy, we were hanging out. Mm-hmm. My one friend is like, a Rico Suave type who's going to bars and picking up chicks and like very proud of himself. And this other guy was having trouble. So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like passively listening. Mm-hmm. And we'll call him Guy A because I don't want to call anybody's personal lives out. But Guy A is talking about how he doesn't understand why he's always in the friend zone. He goes on to, Guy B, who's this suave dude, is like, tell me what you do when you go on a date. And he explained how he's like, I always treat them like royalty, like queens. I ask them whatever they want, you can have. And then I'm listening to this and I was just like, dude, you think that comes off as sincere and nice? Like, you're treating the person like they're not really there with you. You're acting like they're a piece of plastic and that you're going to feed the machine quarters hoping that sex comes out. I was like, that's not nice. That's creepy.
Yeah, and it also breeds resentment, right? Like, then they feel because they have put in the nice coins and they don't get what they're expecting, they get super resentful and angry about it.
It's like the kind of guy who there's like a woman and she's got spinach in her teeth and he's like, I'm not going to say anything.
Exactly what I was thinking about. Yep. The hottest girl in the world. If she got spinach in her teeth, tell her. She wants to know this so she can take it out.
Right.
But that's anybody too. Like, nice and kind. It's like, if someone had gunk in their teeth, would you tell them? I do.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, you got a thing in your teeth.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, thanks.
They'll be more mad at you if you didn't tell them.
Right.
And then they find out, they're like, why didn't you tell me?
Because I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't want to.
No.
So this guy, Dan Price, I really want to talk about his business because so much of what we see coming from this really grinds my gears, the idea of left versus right. If you are a sincere person who asks a question, you're right wing. I'll give you an example, right? Seamus, this is one of Seamus's jokes. He says, the left will come out and be like, we want good thing. We want good thing. And then a conservative will go, okay, how do we pay for a good thing? You want bad thing. You want bad thing. And that's like it's like you're right wing for simply being like. So we get this story of this guy, Dan Price. He raises everybody's salary. Well, I happen to run a company and I understand how taxes work. So my first question here, he lowers his salary from like $1 million or something to $70,000. And for me, alarm bells went off. I was like, oh, bro's trying to save himself some money. Because it's when you take profit versus like compensation. They're taxed differently. And so, this is at least how two different accounting companies I've gone with have explained it to me. So, maybe they're not correct, but this is my understanding, is that passive profit is not taxed the same way as employment income or direct compensation. So when I see this, I'm like, if the dude lowers his salary, he's going to save a lot of money in taxes.
Right.
Like,
That's assuming if he owns or has a major stake in the company that he's running. Right.
And I'm pretty sure this dude
that's the
does.
key distinction.
Yeah, he does.
Right.
Yeah, he gets profit. So at the end of the year, if you're only paying yourself $70K, like Bezos does this. Bezos takes an $87,000 a year salary and then gets bonuses and then justify to the IRS why your salary is so low. But if you're going to get audited anyway. So what I was told by two different accounting companies was, if you're a CEO of a company with, like an 8-figure revenue, and then you pay yourself something like $70K, you're going to get audited in 2 seconds, because they're like, that's bull. That's bull. You're trying to not pay your employment taxes. So when I saw this, I was like, well, how would you get around that? It's ideological. Now if they come to you and be like, hey man, that's not it at all. I believe in fair wages for all people, and I shouldn't be making that much money in a salary. But in profit's a different question.
Right.
So I don't know how much money he actually saved by doing it. He did raise the salaries of everybody in his company, became a big star over it. Surprise, surprise, the dude's being accused. Again, I think there's a strong possibility it's false accusation. I'm not going to assume these are real claims just because the guy happens to be on the left.